For everything there is a season, and a time for every matter under heaven. So says the wisdom of Ecclesiastes. The birds said it a little differently.
To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time for every purpose under heaven.
As the earth turns, so do our calendars, from the short days and frigid nights of winter to the sprouting blooms of spring, after which comes the Derby, of course, and then graduation season. Then come the luxuriously long days of summer with their fireflies and thunderstorms, by the end of which we find ourselves ready to go back to school, or not, as the case may be. And then the leaves turn, and it's time for leaf peeping and those October weddings. And next thing we know, we're singing Christmas carols. And then it all begins again. The church calendar is like this too. We call it the liturgical calendar or the liturgical year, and it moves in a circular fashion, just like that other calendar, though its beginning is a little different. The liturgical year typically starts in late November or early December with Advent, the season in which we anticipate the birth of Christ. Then comes Christmas and Epiphany, where we celebrate Christ's birth and the good news that it brings. The season after Epiphany is a season of growth as we prepare for Jesus' death and resurrection through Lent and Easter. Did you know, though, that Easter Sunday is always the first Sunday after the full moon that occurs on or after the spring equinox? That's why the date can be as early as March 22nd and as late as April 25th. After the season of Easter, we celebrate God's promise and the gift of the Holy Spirit on the day of Pentecost. And the season after Pentecost is another period of growth for the life of the church. This season is about 6 months long, the longest part of the liturgical year. And then, always, we begin the revolution of the calendar once again with Advent. As we embrace this cyclical way of observing time and moving through the seasons, we experience sacredness and rhythm. Every cycle can feel like a fresh start, filled with hope and new opportunities for growth. Now, how do you know where we are in the liturgical year? Well, each season, each part of the year has its own associated liturgical color. Here at First Presbyterian Church in Lexington, we don't really have banners or paraments that we would put in the sanctuary or chapel to show you those colors, but the stoles that the pastors wear will show you those colors. So here are some of mine. This is my Advent stole. Advent's color is typically blue or purple. Here we often use purple. I just happen to have a blue stole. When we move into Christmas, we move into white. Then when we move into the season after Epiphany, we go to green. Green is the color otherwise known as ordinary time, though there's nothing too ordinary about it. After that, we move into the season of Lent, which also is associated with purple. Following Lent, we have Easter, another season of white. And then there's one day in the liturgical year where the color is red, and that is Pentecost. After Pentecost, we move back into the season after Pentecost, that 6-month-long season where we go back to green, and then the cycle begins again. As we move through the liturgical year, I wonder, how does the rhythm of the church year speak to the rhythm of your own life? What does the liturgical year have to do with how you live as Christ's faithful disciple?